Welcome to Market Mantra, the program in which we give you a complete update on the economic, business and stock market news of the day. I am Anubha Rohadgi with my co-anchor Prachi Priya.
नमस्कार, मार्केट मंत्र में आपका स्वागत है। आज हम देश विदेश की आर्थिक गतिविधियों पर नजर डालेंगे और प्रमुख समाचारों पर भी चर्चा करेंगे। चर्चा के लिए हमारे समक्ष उपस्थित हैं वरिष्ठ अर्थशास्त्री डॉक्टर एसपी शर्मा। महोदय, कार्यक्रम में आपका स्वागत है।
जी शुक्रिया, थैंक यू।
चर्चा शुरू करेंगे, मगर उससे पहले सुर्खियां।
Thank you, Prachi. Indian economy and industries of the country are very strong, says Minister of State for External Affairs Kirti Vardhan Singh on US tariff. Cabinet approves restructuring and extension of lending period of PM Swanidhi scheme. And major Asian indices end mixed.
विदेश राज्य मंत्री कीर्तिवर्धन सिंह ने अमरीकी टैरिफ के संदर्भ में कहा कि भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था और देश के उद्योग बहुत मजबूत हैं। कैबिनेट ने पीएम स्वनिधि योजना की ऋण अवधि पुनर्गठन और विस्तार को मंजूरी दी और प्रमुख एशियाई सूचकांक मिश्रित रूप से समाप्त हुए।
Let's begin with the top headline. Minister of State for External Affairs, Kirti Vardhan Singh, has said that Indian economy and the industries of the country are very strong. Replying to a media query on the 50% US tariff on the sidelines of a program in New Delhi today, Mr. Singh said the government will certainly not let the country suffer.
We will study what is going to happen, but we are taking appropriate steps that it does not harm our economy. The Honorable Prime Minister is going there, and you see, the world is always changing, and we are well prepared to meet up with any eventuality. Our economy, like I said, is growing, is strong, resilient, and we will match and meet these coming challenges. Our concern is our energy security, and we will continue to purchase energy sources from whichever country that benefits us.
Dr. Sharma, we just heard the Minister of State saying that, of course, India, the government will do whatever is required and will not let the country suffer. So now, everybody, the 50% Trump tariffs, they came into effect from last night. First of all, my very first question to you is, which are the sectors? Because these 50% Trump tariffs are not across the board, are not across all the exports that India goes, that Indian exports that go off to US. So which are the sectors which are likely to be impacted the most by these tariffs, 50% tariffs?
Yes, Anubaji, as Minister rightly said that we are resilient, we are strongly resilient, particularly in the recent years, in the post-COVID years. Our strong growth, that is more than 7.5% on an average during the last 4 or 5 years, and inflation trajectory is under control. But now the tariff tussle, high tariff of 50% from US is now imposed on India. Majorly they have increased tariff on the labor-intensive items, yes. Labor-intensive sectors like the leather and footwear, textile and apparels, and iron and steel also, then the agriculture and food processing. So all these sectors which are labor intensive are imposed 50% of tariff from the US side, and the total trade of is at around $86 billion, yeah. Of which these labor intensive products at around $48 billion, because we are our sectors like pharmaceutical and select electronics are exempted. So the rest is at around 48 billion, which is impacted. So in the shorter period, we have to face this trouble, this heat, because in the shorter period, we can't diversify our supply chains significantly, right, in such a shorter period.
But Dr. Sharma, here, because like you said, the sectors which are going to be impacted the most, fisheries, agro products, leather and apparels and all, handicrafts. Now, all these sectors all these areas that you've mentioned, they are basically MSMEs, right? So what is it that the government can do at the government level, at the government, what are the options that India has? How can we, minimize the impact of these 50% tariffs, and how can we safeguard and shield our businesses which are going to be directly impacted by this?
Yes, Anubaji, there are many factors which can support the MSME trajectory because of this trouble created by US of high tariffs. Firstly, we have diversified market.
Yes.
We are not only dependent on US economy in these products. We have diversified products in the other countries also. Our exports are growing to the many similar economies like Netherlands, Australia, UAE, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, then Brazil, Mexico, Italy, UK. All these destinations are very, very important, and our exports are growing more than 15% on an average during the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Our export growth is 15% with US, starting from FY 2022 after the corona.
Yes.
That is on an average 15%. But our exports are growing much, much higher than US growth of exports with these economies like Netherlands, Australia, and UAE, which I mentioned. And the total exports, combined exports of India's exports toward these economies are more than $100 billion.
Right.
So we have to support the MSMEs to diversify supply chain towards these economies, number one. Number two, at domestic level, like government is providing a lot of reforms since the last 5-6 years. During the coronavirus, government provided a lot of reforms to support the MSMEs. In the same manner, now again we are in a crisis because of US economy, US Trump tariffs.
Yes.
So again, we have to support the MSMEs. Number one, by incentivizing them in the interest rate scenarios.
Okay.
And second, to provide them a great ease of doing business and the hand holding to sell their products in the domestic market. Like government is now reducing the GST in the coming times. So that will compensate and increase the demand trajectory. And most of the products like I mentioned, which are exported to US, are also in a great demand in India also.
Right.
So we have to divert our trade firstly from US to the other markets, and secondly we have to increase our domestic consumption trajectory so that their surplus production is sold in the domestic economy and they are not in loss, or their inventories are not piled up.
Right. So. Because you're mentioning the fact that, we need to diversify our export destinations. We have to look beyond the US now, given the present situation. Of course, nothing is permanent. Tomorrow things may change. Of course, let's hope. But I also want to know here from you, when we talk in terms of diversification, then do you think, because India is already in the middle of, negotiating and discussing free trade agreements with a lot of, right now, we're in the middle with a lot of countries. So that also becomes imperative that we have to increase the pace of such negotiations, and we should be doing that so that again we are not totally dependent on a country or a bloc or a particular trade partner.
Yes, we are not dependent, and we should not be dependent on a particular country or trade partner. Like we have signed the free trade agreement with Australia 2-3 years ago. Now our trade trajectory is growing more than 27% on an average during the last 4 years.
And recently we had one with UK.
That is more than US. And second, UAE, trade has doubled during the last 3-4 years. So we have great markets and great opportunities in the other countries. Now we have opportunities in Middle East, we have opportunities in Africa, we have opportunities in Latin America, we have opportunities in Asia. So we are surrounded by all the opportunities from all the regions. But during the shorter period, we have to work very in a calibrated manner so that our sectors are not impacted and their resilience is maintained and they are able to compete in the international market and also in the domestic market.
Right. We will continue with this discussion, but after a short break. Welcome back to Market Mantra, where we are joined today by senior economist Dr. S.P. Sharma, and we were talking about the Trump tariffs before going into this break. So let's listen into Dr. Ranjit Mehta, who is the CEO and Secretary General, PhD, Chambers of Commerce and Industry, what he had to say on the US levies on Indian goods.
US has already imposed 50% duty on India. This is a challenging time. However, we have seen that in past also, India has always thrived on adversity. So therefore, this is a time for India to look for alternative markets, to look for diversity. I think, within these challenges, we have to look for opportunities. Indian economy is very, very resilient, and our macroeconomic indicators are very, very powerful, very strong. Therefore, what we need to do right now is 1.4 billion people, they have to unite, and the industry with 65 million MSMEs, and we are a consumption-led economy. I think that we have the demographic dividend in which we have to capitalize, and this is the time to leverage on our strengths. This is the time we have to look for alternative opportunities and look for the regional trade agreement apart from the US. At the same time, we need to continue talking to US for any negotiation. I think that India has always shown that spark, and that we have seen even during the time of COVID. And we are sure that Indian economy and Indian industry entrepreneurs, they will come out of it. They will show the resilience, and we have confidence as India is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world. We have a young population, and we are very confident that we will definitely find a way within these challenges.
And Akashvani also spoke with Ajay Srivastav, who's the founder of Global Trade Research Initiative, on the same issue.
Tariffs will hurt export of labor-intensive industries like textiles, carpets, apparel, leather, shoes, diamonds, jewelry, shrimps, furniture, farm goods like basmati rice and spices, and many more labor-intensive products. This will reduce India's exports to the US from the current level of $86.5 billion last fiscal to around $50 billion. Government is taking many measures to contain this damage.
Right, that was Ajay Srivastav, the founder of Global Trade Research Initiative. And Dr. Sharma, we just heard Dr. Ranjit Mehta, who's the CEO of the PhD Chambers of Commerce and Industry, and we heard Ajay Srivastav. Both are basically saying what we just were discussing on the program.
Right.
My next question to you regarding the Trump tariffs is, of course, we heard both of them, they said, and like you said, India's a consumption-led economy. We have to leverage our strengths. We have to, make sure that our FTAs, we continue to make more FTA deals. But in terms of the US, how are these tariffs, whether it's on India or any other nation in the world that the Trump administration has levied, how is it going to impact their market, their consumers?
I think they will face trouble more than the other countries like India or the other emerging economies, because they are impacted by the high inflation trajectory. Their inflation is not under control. Inflation is significantly higher than the tolerance level of 2%. And their economic growth rate is also fragile.
Yes.
Like they grew at 1.4% during the first Trump tenure of 2017 to 2020. The average growth rate was 1.4%. From 21 to 24, economy grew at around 2%. Now again, economy is not that much strong, and they are facing the stagnation in the growth scenario and high inflation. So going forward, this increase in tariffs will impact negatively, and that will be counterproductive for the US economy. They will not be able to control the inflation, and they will not be able to reduce the Fed rate, which is needed at this juncture to support the economy. So in a nutshell, to address two problems of the fiscal deficit and the high debt, they are creating 10 more problems for their respective economy.
Right, and we will see what happens as we move forward. But meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has warned that countries imposing digital taxes on American technology companies will face additional tariffs on their exports to the United States and export restrictions on advanced technology and semiconductors in retaliation unless those measures are withdrawn.
केंद्रीय मंत्रिमंडल ने आज प्रधानमंत्री स्ट्रीट्स वेंडर आत्मनिर्भर निधि पीएम स्वनिधि योजना के पुनर्गठन को मंजूरी दे दी है। मंत्रिमंडल ने ऋण अवधि को 31 दिसंबर 2024 से आगे बढ़ाने को भी मंजूरी दी। ऋण अवधि अब 31 मार्च 2030 तक बढ़ा दी गई है। ये योजना 7,332 करोड़ रुपए की लागत से मंजूर की गई है। इस योजना की विशेषताओं में शामिल है इसकी पहली किश्त और दूसरी किश्त में अधिक ऋण राशि, यूपीआई लिंक्ड रूपे क्रेडिट कार्ड का प्रावधान और खुदरा तथा थोक लेन देन के लिए डिजिटल कैशबैक को भी शामिल करना है। पहली किश्त के ऋण को 10,000 रुपए से बढ़ाकर 15,000 रुपए और दूसरी किश्त के ऋण को 20,000 रुपए से बढ़ाकर 25,000 रुपए कर दिया गया है, जबकि तीसरी किश्त में कोई भी बदलाव नहीं आया है। पुनर्गठित योजना का लक्ष्य 50 लाख नए लाभार्थियों सहित 1 करोड़ 15 लाख लाभार्थियों को भी लाभान्वित करना है। डॉक्टर शर्मा, ये जो तमाम सुविधाएं योजना के अंतर्गत स्ट्रीट वेंडर्स को दी जा रही हैं, इसका उनके जीवन में क्या किस तरीके से सीधा प्रभाव पड़ सकता है या कैसे प्रभाव पड़ेगा?
देखिए, इनका बहुत बड़ा प्रभाव है, क्योंकि इसका लक्ष्य क्या है? असली तो उनको एक इनफॉर्मल सेक्टर का जो लोकल लैंडिंग होता है, जो बहुत एक्सप्लॉइट करता है, जिसमें इंटरेस्ट रेट भी हाई होता है और बहुत सारी और टर्म्स होती हैं, उसे हटा के बैंकिंग सेक्टर के साथ, डिजिटल इकोनॉमी के साथ जोड़ना था, जो एक बहुत ही प्रभावित साबित हुआ है। उनको अच्छा सपोर्ट मिला है और वो इनफॉर्मल सेक्टर की एक्सप्लॉइटेशन से हट के वो एक मेन स्ट्रीम में से फंडिंग उनको मिल रही है, जो बैंक्स के थ्रू मिल रही है, और वो भी डिजिटली उनको पैसा पहुंच जाता है। तो एक बहुत बड़ी चीज है। तो मैं समझता हूं कि इसका प्रभाव उनके ऊपर बहुत पॉजिटिव एक इम्पैक्ट है।
सिस्टम क्रिएट हो गया,
एक सिस्टम क्रिएट हुआ है जो एक एक्सप्लॉइटेशन से एक सीधा वेलफेयर की तरफ जो रुझान हुआ है इस स्कीम के जरिए से।
एंड द कैबिनेट कमिटी ऑन इकोनॉमिक अफेयर्स टुडे अप्रूव्ड मल्टी ट्रैकिंग ऑफ 3 projects benefiting Karnataka, Telangana, Bihar and Assam, and 1 new rail line to connect far-flung areas of Kutch, Gujarat. These initiatives will provide connectivity and impose travel convenience, besides reducing logistic cost and decrease dependence on oil imports. The projects will contribute to lower CO2 emissions and support sustainable and efficient rail operations. These will also generate direct employment for about 251 lakh human days during its construction. Dr. Sharma, what would you say about these multi-tracking projects that have been approved? Because like the story says that this will not only improve connectivity, but it will also improve, travel convenience and reduce logistic costs. So
yes, definitely.
Economically,
that is very important, because now our effort is to reduce the logistic cost.
Yes.
Which is needed at the domestic juncture also, at the international also, to become more and more competitive in the international market. And third, ease of living, because passengers should not face the troubles, so their travel time must be minimum. So all these things are addressed by such kind of reforms, and government is undertaking a lot of reforms during the last 4-5 years. And our logistic cost is now coming down, which was at around 14% of GDP. Now there are studies, or there are connotations that these are coming down with the reforms undertaken by the government and various state governments.
इससे ये भी है ना कि अनुभव कि जो हमारा जो एक डे टू डे जो लाइफ स्टाइल है, उसमें जब ये मतलब ये पैसिवली बड़ा काम करेगा, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि क्योंकि हम अगर कहीं पर जा रहे हैं, कहीं पर पहुंच रहे हैं और हम सही वक्त पर पहुंच रहे हैं, तो वो चीज हमारी पंक्चुअलिटी मतलब है ये इस तरीके की चीजें।
Yes, that will save time, because we have to move forward with strong speed.
Right.
As our journey is towards the Viksit Bharat by 2047, so speed must be very, very strong and high. So such reforms are boosting the speed.
इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे वो भी बिल्कुल
जी। और प्राची, से पहले की ये चर्चा आगे बढ़ाएं, समय हो गया है एक और ब्रेक का।
मार्केट मंत्र में एक बार फिर आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं प्राची प्रिया। जिम्बाब्वे के उपराष्ट्रपति CGDN चिवेंगा ने नई दिल्ली में CII भारत अफ्रीका व्यापार सम्मेलन को संबोधित करते हुए कहा कि अफ्रीका और भारत के अद्भुत ऐतिहासिक संबंध रहे हैं। उन्होंने कहा कि दोनों देश प्रौद्योगिकी, नवाचार, विविधीकरण और विभिन्न निर्माण कार्यों के साथ मिलकर पूरा करने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध हैं, और तो और जिम्बाब्वे व्यापार के लिए भारत का स्वागत करता है। अपने संबोधन में केंद्रीय विदेश राज्य मंत्री कीर्तिवर्धन सिंह ने कहा कि भारत अफ्रीकी सहयोग दोनों देशों में कौशल विकास और रोजगार के अवसर पैदा करने में भी सहायक है। श्री सिंह ने कहा कि आम जीवन में डिजिटल माध्यम से सकारात्मक सुधार लाने के लिए दोनों देशों में जगह जगह डिजिटल केंद्रों की स्थापना, प्रौद्योगिकी उत्थान और डिजिटल साक्षरता अत्यंत आवश्यक है। डॉक्टर शर्मा, अभी हमने बात की डे टू डे लाइफ की कि किस तरीके से हमारे को डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट करता है इस तरीके की चीजें जो हमारे एक मतलब की जीवन शैली को बदल देती है। तो ये जो करंट जियोपॉलिटिक्स को देखते हुए भारत के लिए ये द्विपक्षीय संबंध कितना महत्वपूर्ण साबित हो सकता है?
देखिए, जो जियो पॉलिटिकल डेवलपमेंट्स हैं, जो हम पीछे 4-5 साल से बहुत देख रहे हैं, बहुत गहरा रहे हैं ईयर आफ्टर ईयर, तो उस संदर्भ में हमारे जो बाइलेटरल रिलेशंस हैं, खास करके कंट्रीज के साथ और रीजन्स के साथ, बहुत मायना रखते हैं। बिल्कुल। और अफ्रीका हमारा बहुत ही एक स्ट्रांग ट्रेड एंड इकोनॉमिक पार्टनर है और बहुत ही स्टेडी ट्रेड है हमारा। लगभग कोई 85 अरब 90 अरब डॉलर के आसपास हम ट्रेड करते हैं। और इसमें साउथ अफ्रीका हमारा गेटवे है, जिसके साथ अभी हम जिक्र कर रहे थे कि कैसे हम डाइवर्सिफाई कर सकते हैं, एंड साउथ अफ्रीका इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ देम। तो उसमें भी हमारा लगभग कोई ब्रिक्स में भी है, और लगभग कोई $7 बिलियन का हम एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं साउथ अफ्रीका को, जो कि 20% पे ग्रो किया है ड्यूरिंग द लास्ट 3-4 ईयर्स। तो कुल मिला के जो भी ये प्रोग्रेसिव इकोनॉमीज हैं, जिम्बाब्वे है, साउथ सब के साथ हम जितना अपना बाइलेटरल इकोनॉमिक रिलेशंस सुदृढ़ करेंगे, उतना ही हमें आने वाले टाइम में डाइवर्सिफिकेशन की और अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलेंगी। क्योंकि अभी हमने देखा जियो पॉलिटिकल डेवलपमेंट से हमें ये लगता है कि वी शुड नॉट बी कंसंट्रेटिंग और डिपेंडेंट ऑन अ सिंगल इकोनॉमी। दो हमारे पास अपॉर्चुनिटीज पहले भी होती हैं। कई बार बाइलेटरल रिलेशंस की वजह से हम उन्हीं कंट्रीज के ऊपर ज्यादा कंसंट्रेट करते हैं, जबकि हमारा जो ट्रेड है, अगर हम उसको देखें, बहुत ही डाइवर्सिफाइड है। जो आइटम्स हम यूएस को एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं, वो 25 कंट्रीज को और भी कर रहे हैं। वहां पे वॉल्यूम कम हो सकता है, लेकिन आइटम्स वहां पे भी जा रहे हैं। वो भी हमारी एक्सप्लोर्ड मार्केट्स हैं। बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। मैं एक अध्ययन में देख रहा था कि लगभग कोई जो टॉप 10 आइटम्स हैं जो हम यूएस को एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं, वो लगभग कोई 71% रिप्रेजेंट करती हैं टोटल एक्सपोर्ट्स का। और सेम आइटम्स लगभग कोई 25 कंट्रीज को भी जा रही हैं, सेम आइटम्स। उनमें जो मैंने मेंशन किया था, नीदरलैंड्स को भी जा रही हैं, ऑस्ट्रेलिया को भी जा रही हैं, यूएई को भी जा रही हैं, साउथ अफ्रीका को भी जा रही हैं, ब्राजील को भी जा रही हैं, मैक्सिको को जा रही है, इटली को जा रही हैं, यूके को जा रही है। तो हमें खाली उनके वॉल्यूम्स को इंक्रीज करना है, बिकॉज वी हैव ऑलरेडी अ ग्रेट मार्केट ऑफ सच प्रोडक्ट्स। अगर हम उन्हीं आइटम्स में, अगर टोटल एक्सपोर्ट हमारा $85 बिलियन का यूएस के साथ है टोटल ट्रेड, तो हमारा इन कंट्रीज के साथ भी $162 बिलियन का ट्रेड है। बिल्कुल एक्सपोर्ट हमारा की इसमें और भी गुंजाइश है।
So in a way, I think, Dr. Sharma, what you're saying, that there is an opportunity in disguise here that, Indian exports and India.
And if we are increasing our trade trajectory or our supply chain with such economies more strongly, then our exports will significantly increase in the coming times. क्योंकि यूएस तो वापस आएगा ही। बिल्कुल। यूएस को तो हमारा जरूरत वो कितने महीने या कितने उसकी बात है, टाइम।
और वैसे भी नेवर से नेवर एटीट्यूड तो कभी
तो हमारे लिए नई मार्केट्स भी खुल जाएंगी, और यूएस तो हमारे जो एक्सपोर्ट को चाहेगा ही आने वाले टाइम।
और सर सस्टेनेबिलिटी फिर मतलब कितना सस्टेन हो सकता है, ये कितना सस्टेनेबल होगा?
देखिए, सस्टेनेबल हमारा जो एक्सपोर्ट टारगेट है, दैट इज $1 ट्रिलियन बाय 2030 इन मर्चेंडाइज। So now that is at around $437 billion. So we have to increase this trajectory significantly in the coming times. तो ये सब मार्केट्स में जितना हम ज्यादा इंक्रीज करेंगे, उतना ही हमारा जो एक्सपोर्ट सस्टेनेबिलिटी, एक्सपोर्ट जो वॉल्यूम है और इंक्रीज हो।
मतलब एक पर निर्भरता नहीं।
नो।
Let's move forward. Indian equity markets were closed for trading today on occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi. Yesterday, benchmark equity indices slumped 1% each amid a broad-based sell-off across most sectors. The Sensex lost 849 points to close at 80,787. The Nifty dipped 256 points to settle at 24,712. Dr. Sharma, very quick question to you, because we've been talking about, of course, the Trump tariffs. So, how can the common investor cancel out all the noise that's, around him or her regarding these tariffs and, and their impact on the market? So how can they just cancel out all this noise and, concentrate on their investments?
I think our markets are not that much dependent on the export trajectory or the export volumes or such kind of tariffs, though there will be some sentimental impact during the shorter period, but we have a great, our market, 140 crore people, जो 140 करोड़ लोग हैं हमारे पास बहुत बड़ी मार्केट है, and our promising sectors, like the growth is a major factor for the economic growth trajectory, that we have the growth and we are the fastest moving economy in the major economies. तो मैं ये समझता हूँ कि जो such kind of factors which are very very volatile, news based volatility or imposed by some economy on us, so these factors should not be that much important for the market. Markets are considering the investments or the growth rates, and we are the promising growth rates for the world economy. We are growing significantly in every pace of time.
जी चलते हैं एशिया और यूरोप के बाजार की तरफ। एशिया के प्रमुख शेयर बाजारों में आज का रुख मिला जुला रहा। हांगकांग के हैंगसेंग इंडेक्स में 1.3% और चीन के शंघाई कॉम्पोजिट इंडेक्स में 1.7% से अधिक की गिरावट दर्ज की गई। दक्षिण कोरिया का कॉस्पी इंडेक्स लगभग 0.2% और जापान का निकेई ने लगभग 0.3% की बढ़त दर्ज की। वहीं सिंगापुर का स्ट्रेट टाइम इंडेक्स लगभग स्थिर रहा। यूरोप के प्रमुख शेयर बाजारों में बढ़त का रुख बरकरार रहा। अंतिम समाचार मिलने तक फ्रांस के कैक 40 में 0.5% का उछाल आया। वहीं जर्मनी के डैक्स और लंदन के FTSE 100 समाचार बनने तक सपाट रहे।
Moving on to the US markets, US stocks ended with moderate gains on Tuesday, led by index heavyweights. The tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite Index as well as S&P 500 both rose over 0.4% each, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed 0.3% up. In other news, earlier, US President Donald Trump fired Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, deepening concerns about the Federal Reserve's independence. Trump cited the mortgage fraud allegations as the prime reason for her dismissal. Trump's move comes just days after Cook publicly stated she would not step down from the 7-member Fed board. Despite mounting pressure from the president to resign, she will file a lawsuit challenging her removal by President Donald Trump. And let's take the next news, which is about commodities. Crude oil prices were marginally up today. Brent crude was trading almost flat at $67.26 per barrel, and WTI crude was trading nearly 0.1% up at $63.31 per barrel when reports last came in.
मल्टी कमोडिटी एक्सचेंज में समाचार तैयार किए जाने तक अक्टूबर में आपूर्ति किए जाने वाले सोने का मूल्य 0.04% घटकर 1,01,049 रुपए प्रति 10 ग्राम पर चल रहा था। सितंबर में आपूर्ति की जाने वाली चांदी 0.3% घटकर 1,15,451 रुपए प्रति किलोग्राम पर चल रही थी।
And that's all we have time for in the program. Dr. Sharma, thank you so much for coming to our studios and for this useful discussion.
Thank you.
And before we close, a reminder of the headlines. Indian economy and industries of the country are very strong, says Minister of State for External Affairs Kirti Vardhan Singh on US tariff. Cabinet approves restructuring and extension of lending period of PM Swanidhi scheme, and major Asian indices end mixed. And that's it in this edition of Market Mantra. For now, goodbye. Namaskar.
Namaskar.